Good morning, children. Sharna Shanarthi. Today we are going to introduce a new chapter, that is chapter 6, Squares and Square Roots. Let's begin this chapter by introducing some important points. If a natural number m can be expressed as n square, where n is also a natural number, then m is a square number. Let's consider some examples to understand this definition. 9 is equal to 3 square. 9 can be written as 3 square. Here we can consider 9 as m and 3 as n. Here m is equal to 9 and n is equal to 3. That is 9 and 3 both are natural numbers. In the same way, 25 can be written as 5 square. 64 can be written as 8 square. Therefore, 9, 25, 64 are some square numbers. Next point, the numbers 1, 4, 9, 16, etc. are square numbers. These numbers are also called perfect squares because it is a square of some natural numbers. Next point, square root is the inverse operation of square. That is, positive square root of a number is denoted by the symbol root. For example, 3 square is equal to 9. Okay, that one only we can write as square root of 9 is equal to 3. In the same way, second example, 15 square is equal to 225 gives square root of 225 is equal to 15. Let's learn some properties of square numbers. First one, a number ending in 2, 3, 7 or 8 is never a perfect square. You have to remember these all the 4 numbers, children. If any number ends with 2, 3, 7 or 8, then that complete number is not a perfect square. Ending with 2, 3, 7, 8 means in the ones place, that is in units place. Okay. If a number ends with 2, 3, 7 or 8, it is not a perfect square. For example, 27. Here the last digit is 7. That is in units place or ones place we will call 7. If the number ends with 2, 3, 7 or 8, we will call it as not a perfect square. Some more examples are 7,928, 22,222, 23,453. Not only like this, children, you can write any number ending with 2, 3, 7 or 8. Those numbers are not a perfect squares. One more interesting property, children. A number ending in an odd number of zeros is never a perfect square. Examples 10, 1000, 2000, 3 lakh. Here 10 is ending with 1 zero. 1000 is ending with 3 zeros. 2000 is ending with 3 zeros. And 3 lakh ending with 5 zeros means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Like these odd number of zeros, if a number ends, that number is not a perfect square. Understood? A number ending in an odd number of zeros is never a perfect square. Third property. The square of an even number is always even. Example, 2 square is equal to 4. 4 square is equal to 16. 6 square is equal to 36. 8 square is equal to 64. 10 square is equal to 100. 12 square is equal to 144. Whether you observed or not, children, the square of an even number is always even. If you done square for any even number, the answer you will get again an even number itself. Fourth property. The square of an odd number is always odd. For example, 1 square is equal to 1. 1 is an odd number. Its square you got again odd. 3 square is equal to 9. 3 is odd number. Its square is equal to 9 you got. 9 is again odd. In the same way, if you consider still more examples, then too you will get odd number itself as it's a square, because the square of an odd number is always odd. That is 5 square is equal to 25, 7 square is equal to 49, 9 square is equal to 81. 11 square is equal to 121. Fifth property, the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction. Means children, if you done square for a proper fraction, the answer you will get still smaller than the considered fraction. Okay? For example, 1 by 2 whole square. Whole square is nothing but the square belongs to numerator and denominator both. Okay? 1 into 1 divided by 2 into 2, which is equal to 1 by 4. You know that half 1 by 2, is it? 1 by 2 if you consider it as 50%, 1 by 4 can be considered it as 25%. Which is smaller? The answer is smaller. Then you understood that the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction. Another example, 1 by 3 whole square is equal to 1 into 1 divided by 3 into 3, which is equal to 1 by 9. Sixth property, for every natural number n, we have n plus 1 whole square minus n square, which is equal to n square plus 2n plus 1 minus n square as it is. Here n plus 1 whole square means children n plus 1 into n plus 1 we have done. Then we got n square plus 2n plus 1. Okay. Minus n square as it is we have written. If we open the bracket, plus n square minus n square, we can cancel it. Means you can strike out. Only 2n plus 1 will remain. Okay. How many natural numbers are there between 6 square and 7 square? 6 square value is 36 and 7 square value is 49. Is it? Then in between 36 and 49, how many terms will come? Let's see. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Means these are the terms between 36 and 49. How many are there children here? 12 numbers are there. Okay. 12 natural numbers are there between n square and n plus 1 whole square. Means 6 square plus 6 plus 1 is nothing but 7. Is it? N square and n plus 1 whole square we will consider it. Okay. There is another method children to find how many terms are there between the given two natural numbers. Okay. Means continuous natural numbers, consecutive natural numbers we will consider. There are 2n numbers which is 1 less than the difference of two squares. That is 49 minus 36 is equal to 13. For this one subtract children. 13 minus 1 is equal to 12. Then you got exactly 12 numbers between 6 square and 7 square. Is it? That is 2n is equal to 2 into 6, which is equal to 12. 12 natural numbers are there between 6 square and 7 square. Directly we can say. Children, if they asked how many non-perfect square numbers are there between 6 square and 7 square means there are 2n non-perfect square numbers between the squares of the numbers n and n plus 1 we can say. That is 12 natural numbers which you have written above children. Those all non-perfect square numbers. Okay. Because 36 and 49 between there is no other number which is perfect square. Okay. Seventh property. Sum of first n odd natural numbers is equal to n square. For example, if you are going to add only one odd number, 1 can be written as 1 square. If you are going to add two odd numbers, 1 plus 3. Continuously we have to take children from 1 onwards only, okay? Sum of first two odd numbers gives 4, which can be written as 2 square. First 3 odd numbers if you considered 3 square, which is equal to 9. In the same way, if you are going to find the sum of first 4 odd natural numbers, which will be equal to 4 square, that is 16. Sum of first 5 odd numbers, which is equal to 5 square. 5 square is nothing but 25. Okay. In the same way, if they asked you to find sum of first 10 odd natural numbers, You do just 10 square, children. 10 square is equal to 100. Then the sum of first 10 odd natural numbers is equal to 100, you can say. That is, sum of first n odd natural numbers is equal to n square. Eighth property, if the number is a square number, it has to be the sum of successive odd numbers starting from 1. If a natural number cannot be expressed as a sum of successive odd natural numbers starting with 1, then it is not a perfect square. Go through the first example, children. 25 we can write as sum of first 5 odd natural numbers. But 24 we can't write as first 5 odd natural numbers because 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, these 4 are odd, but 8 is not odd here. Okay, which number cannot be written by using only odd numbers, sum of first odd numbers, then that number is not a perfect square we can consider. Okay. Ninth property, if m, n, p are natural numbers such that m square plus n square is equal to p square, then m, n, p is called a Pythagorean triplet. Let us try to understand this property by considering an example. 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. Then 3, 4, 5 is called a Pythagorean triplet. That is, 3 square value is 9, 4 square value is 16, 5 square value is 25. When you add 9 plus 16, you got 25, which is nothing but 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. Then we can consider 3, 4, 5 as Pythagorean triplet. According to the property, m square plus n square is equal to p square. Then only we can consider m, n, p as Pythagorean triplet. 10th property, for every natural number m greater than 1, 2m, m square minus 1, m square plus 1 is a Pythagorean triplet. Example 12, 35, 37. If we considered 2m is equal to 12, compulsory we have to consider an even number, children. Okay, if you considered even number itself, then we will get the value of m easily. Then you can substitute that m value in the formula and you can find the three numbers. Let us find whether we will get 12, 35 and 37 exactly or not. 2m is equal to 12. Transpose 2 to the right hand side. You will get m is equal to 12 divided by 2. Strike out 2 ones are 2 6 are. You will get m is equal to 6. If you substitute the 6 in 2m, 2 into 6 is equal to 12. First value you got. If you substitute this 6 in the place of m square minus 1, you will get 6 square minus 1, which is nothing but 6 6 is 36 minus 1, which is equal to 35. You got the second number. M square plus 1. If you substitute 6 in the place of m square plus 1, 6 6 is 36 plus 1 it will become, which is equal to 37. You got the third term also. Yes, we can consider 2m, m square minus 1, m square plus 1 as a Pythagorean triplet. And our example is also correct. One more example I gave, children. 8, 15, 17 as a Pythagorean triplet. You find out this. First you find m, children, and then you decide whether these three numbers form a Pythagorean triplet or not. Today you learnt many important points and also very important properties. Remember all these, children. Write once in your classwork. Okay? Thank you.